Howdy all, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be doing another episode of World in Flames Collector's Edition, Days of Decision 3, solo playthrough, combined game. So last turn, war broke out in Europe between the Commonwealth, France, and Germany. We had an invasion of France, and as you can see from the map, it's not looking too good for the French. Germans got a couple real good rolls. They spent a whole bunch of offensive points. The only thing that really saved the French was the fact that the communists all passed on their last impulse and it ended the turn. That extra +1 was just enough to end the turn. Otherwise, Paris might have fallen last turn. So, there are a bunch of political options that were played reactively, and the major powers basically need to play political options to because they owe them. So without further ado, let's jump right in and take a look at the starting money for the major powers. All right. Nobody really has any money whatsoever. We have Germany at -8, Japan at -3, Italy at -8, the USSR at -1, the Commonwealth at -6, France at -3, the USA, the richest, is at 0, and China at -1. Okay, I put in bids for the major powers. Let's see how that's going to turn out. We'll go over here to the political initiative track. Okay, so we got the Commonwealth bidding 1. We have Germany bidding 3, but she's bidding for 2 political options. The USSR is bidding 1, and France is bidding 1. So if the Commonwealth bid 1, they get a +4. That gives them 5. Germany bid 3. They get a +3. That gives them 6. Divided by 2 is 3. The USSR bid 1. They get a +2. Gives them a 3. And France bid 1 with a +1. Gives them a 2. So Germany and the Soviet Union are tied at 3 each. So that tie is going to be broken by their political effectiveness. The Soviets' political effectiveness is 4, and Germany's political effectiveness is 6. So the Commonwealth's going to be first, Germany will be second, the Soviets will be third, and the French will be fourth. First last card marker, last card marker. Now the non-bidding major powers, we have Italy at a +3. It's going to put them at 5th. Japan at a +2. It's going to put them at 6th. The US with a +1 will be 7th, and China will be last. Okay, so first up is the Commonwealth. Let's see what the Commonwealth is going to do. I believe they owe a political option from last turn that they played reactively, and it was a declaration of war on Germany. So that's going to be their political option play for the first, for them. All the political markers were put out already. The U.S. entry was already recorded. They do not get to activate a minor for that. So the only thing they have to do is roll to see if they end the political phase. Grab a die. Okay. So there's been no previous political options played. The modifiers are +1 because there are now 5 major powers at war. And there's no modifier. So there's a +1 to the die. There's no chance for a 0. They get a 9. It's obviously going to move on. So we'll move the last card marker. Germany is up. Germany owes a political option. She aligned both Sweden and Finland. Now you can align as many minors as you want with the play of 1 option. So that's going to be her choice. She will pay for that, or use that political option. And she does get to activate a minor for that. Now let's take a look here, see what Germany might want to activate. As bad as it is, I think the Germans are going to activate Romania. Alright, let's grab the political markers and head over to the status display. Let's see where Romania is. It's right there in the fascist ideology. Put the markers out. Okay, all right. So, we have, you can't see that. Let's put them up here. See that better. There we go. Okay, so we have a -1 Commonwealth. It's not going to move anything because it costs at least 2 per hex to move towards the Commonwealth. So that one's just going to get burned off. We have -6 for the Soviets. Now, Romania is right here. So the Soviet major power marker is over here. So it's going to drive the Romanian marker this way. Okay, so it's going to probably this hex, maybe this hex, this direction. Okay, so it's going to cost 2 per hex. All right, now Romania is allied to Germany, so it's going to cost an additional 1 per hex. So it's going to cost 3 to go into this hex. She's moving away from Germany. Now to go into this hex here is also going to cost another 3. And that will use up the 6. So that's the 6. So that's Germany's first play. Now, one previous political option has been played. Well, Germany has to roll a die to see if she ends the political phase. One previous political option has been played. So that's a -1 to the die. However, we have, as one of the modifiers, is it's an additional +1 because there are 4 to 6 major powers at war. So the +1, -1 cancel each other. Can't really roll a 0, so I just roll the die. That's a 3. The political phase will continue. Germany will get to play a second political option. And I believe her second political option is going to be support Romanian land claims. That's this one right here. Okay, Germany may only play this option if G13 has never been played. And Germany's initiative is lower than every major power allied to Romania, Hungary, or Bulgaria. Well, the only other power that's allied to one of those 3 is Italy. And Italy's initiative position is 5. Germany's is 2, so she meets that requirement. Germany allows a Soviet land claim, which she did. Then Germany must have already played G13 or 14. This is G14. Before she can play IPO5 on Romania, or Hungary, or Bulgaria. Okay, remove all German markers in Hungarian and Bulgarian boxes. There aren't any. Oh, actually there is one. Remove all non-German markers in Romanian resource boxes. While Romania is aligned by Germany, Romanian units no longer restricted in their movement. Okay. So WiFCE 19.4. Okay, so I will put the markers out. I will record the US entry, which is a +3. And I will come right back with Germany activating another minor. Okay, put all the markers out, recorded the US entry. Oh, and a quick note about US entry. I rolled for war with a Democrat for both Germany and Japan, and Germany came out at a 0, and Japan came out at a +2. So that was taken for. I also rolled for partisans last turn, and there were no partisans. Okay, so I think Germany is going to activate Romania yet again. Let's go over to the status display. Take a look at this. This is going to be kind of interesting. I think we have a +4 German marker. That's the marker that resulted in the support Romanian land claims. And the support Romanian land claims, just so everybody knows, okay, when the Russians take Bessarabia, okay, historically the Hungarians took this part of Transylvania, and the Bulgarians took this part of South Dobruja. Okay, well, when there's a second German option, it's German option 13, which is support Hungarian and Bulgarian land claims, which gives this to the Bulgarians and this to the Hungarians. Okay, well, in this case, Germany decided that Romania is more important. She's going to keep South Dobruja, and she's going to keep, I guess that's how that's pronounced, and she's going to keep Transylvania. It makes the Hungarians and Bulgarians mad, but Germany don't care. She's got bigger things to do and worry about them too. Okay, so back at the status display, we have the +4 German marker. Okay, the Romanian marker is right here. Costs 2 per hex. However, -1 moving towards you and your ideology. So in this case, it's going to cost 1. 1, 2. Okay. Now it normally costs 2 there's 2 points left. Normally costs 2 to enter this hex right here. There's a boundary, so that's going to make it 3. However, we get the -1 for moving towards you and your ideology, so that brings the cost down to 2. And Romania becomes stacked with Germany. The last thing for Germany to do, take a quick trip back over to the Indian Ocean. Alright, let's roll a die. I'm going to try to get more dice rolls on camera. Try to roll a die, see if Germany ends the political phase. 3. There have been 2 political options played. That's a -2 to the die, which brings it to a 1. However, there are, again, there's 4 plus major powers at war, so that adds a +1. So it brings the total die roll down to a 2. That's not 0. The political phase will, that's not 1. The political phase will continue, because the political phase ends on a die roll of 1. So, next up is the USSR. Again, I think that's going to be a option that they're just playing because they did something retro. Actually, they did 2 things retroactively. So they're going to do the, they have to do the DoW. So they're going to pay for the DoW for Bessarabia. So that's going to be their play. They don't get to activate a minor. They do, however, get to roll a die to see if they end the political phase. Let's grab a die, see if they end the political phase. So that's going to be 3 political options played. Looking for a 1. They did end the political phase. So France is out of luck. They will get bonus bid points if they're still alive next turn. They owe an alignment for, I believe, Belgium. They aligned Belgium. So they owe that. That's all that they owe. So I will roll initiative, roll the weather, and I'll come right back with reinforcements. Back in a second. Well, there was a whole bunch of excitement in the initiative roll. The first initiative roll was 9 for the fascists, 7 for the Dems, and 2 for the Soviets. Well, the French really needed to go first. They absolutely need to go first. So the Democrats convinced the communists to give up their +1 initiative modifier to ask for a reroll. So that moved the communists down to here. Okay, so we did a reroll, and it came out 9 for the fascists, 6 for the Democrats, and 1 for the communists. No, that's 1 for the Democrat and 6 for the communists. Okay, mix those two up. Anyway, so the fascists have decided to go first. Can't imagine why. The Democrats are going to go second because the Soviets decided that they want to go last. I rolled weather. The weather roll was a 2, which in September, October is fine weather everywhere. This is probably going to be disastrous for France. Anyway, let's go take a look at what we got coming in for reinforcements. Reinforcements might actually save the French a little bit, but we'll check it out, see what we got. So we have the September-October turn. You can see that. There, that's better. Okay, so what we got is we got a German militia unit for Breslau. We have a French infantry corps. We have 2 Finnish units coming on the board. We also have 2 French militia. Probably not going to do much, but yeah, you got to try. We have a French HQ. Georges coming in. That's 3 French units. We have a Commonwealth South African Infantry Corps. We have a Communist Chinese Infantry Division. We have a Communist Chinese Lan Chao Militia Army. We have a Soviet pilot and Italian pilot. We'll put those on the track for now. Soviets now have a pilot. The Italians get a pilot. They even have the marker wasn't even on the board. Alright, so now they have 1 pilot. We have a Italian amphibious unit that goes in the construction pool. We have a German pilot. Put that on the track for now. Wherever it is. Oh, it's up here. Alright. Alright. So put that on the track. We have a German mech corps, pretty good one. Have a German sub, goes in the construction pool. Have a German convoy point, that will go on map. Have a German headquarters, Guderian. I have 2 Commonwealth light cruisers, or are they light cruisers? Are these light cruisers? Birmingham, now they're heavy cruisers, and the Gloucester. 2 heavy cruisers, those are going on map. Goes in the home fleet. We have a Japanese amphibious unit, goes in the construction pool. We have the Savannah for the US going on map. Put that in the Pacific Fleet for now. We have a US pilot. This is pilot, man. It's the first pilot on the track. I don't know if that's going to stay there or not. We have a Soviet pilot. I already recorded those. The Italian and the Soviet. Okay. So we got a Japanese militia, Kyoto, going on map. We have a American transport going in the construction pool. The Americans have cleared the construction pool previous to this turn. A Japanese battleship, the Musashi, going in the construction pool. You have an American battleship going on map. That would be the Maryland. And we have, that's it. Oh, we have a German carrier going on map, the Peter Strasser. I don't know if I actually have any German combat air groups that I can use for that carrier. Yeah, no, there aren't any. I don't have any combat air groups for that yet. Okay. So I will get these reinforcements on the map, and I will come right back after the fascist first movement impulse. I'll show you the combat. Okay, Germany chose a land action. She did all her land movement already. There were no ground strikes. There was no naval movement. What we end up with is a 5-to-1 attack on Paris, with the 2 air factors included. There are no French fighters left. They could add this bomber in. I think so. Okay, so they could add the bomber in. I think they will. There's a German fighter there as well, but so we'll do a air battle first. German fighter, German bomber. The German bomber is obviously going to get through. Doesn't matter at that point. Actually, I had another bomber here as well. I could have thrown that one in, but that's the way it goes. Sometimes you forget these things. So we need 2 dice. Got the German fighter. We have against a French bomber. The French bomber is a 2. The German fighter is a 6. That's going to be a +4 on the +4 table. Where are you? Around here somewhere. Here we go. +4. We rolled a 5. I don't think that's very good. Let's see. 5. Roll a 5. 5. AX. Attacker destroys defending front fighter, front bomber. So that's the end of that French bomber. He's toast. Now we'll get a pilot because the pilot was not killed. So he will get a pilot. And the French bomber shoots back at a -4. Rolled an 8. -4. 8. 8 is AC. Attacker clears through. Attacker clears through any one defending bomber. Okay, well, there you go. That's about that. So that was the air battle. Those fighters will return home. No, the fighter will return home. And he'll flip over. Okay, so we have a 5-to-1. We'll use HQ benefits. There is a factory there, so that will be a -1. I guess we will use that. So it's going to be straight up. Straight up at straight up at 5-to-1. I think the French are going to use the Blitzkrieg. The assault table. They want to try to inflict as many casualties as possible, and hopefully the Germans get a 1. Well, that's not very good for the French. 9. 9, 9, 9. Asterisk 2S. So asterisk is no defending units are turned over. 2 French units are destroyed. The remaining units are shattered. So that's going to be the end of Paris. This bomber will go back. He turns over. So let's see, which one would be? I guess we'll shatter the infantry corps. Don't really think the French are going to be coming back. Got an idea that those 2 guys are dead. Used HQ benefits, so that would be Mr. Actually, a 9. He could have used HQ benefits, which he would have, which would have canceled the German HQ benefits, which would have mean the roll would have been an 8, and an 8 is the same result. So it doesn't matter. Does not matter, but that still would have happened. I forgot about the French HQ right here. So he would have been flipped over. They definitely would have used that. So that will occupy that hex. It is possible that the French could get one attack in on this hex. And actually, let's put that mechanized divisions in there. And put that guy there. And that's the end of that. Now let's bump over to Asia and see the somewhat interesting Japanese situation. And it looks like we got two attacks. Two 2-to-1 attacks. Yeah, so the Japanese did do, this is the first turn that Japan no longer has to do combined impulses. So she did a land impulse. She did 2 ground strikes. This ground strike failed. This one here flipped over 1 unit, which is this guy right here. The Cav Corps. He got flipped over. Whoops. We have a 2-to-1 attack, not a 3-to-1. Okay, so for this attack right here, we have a 2-to-1 attack. Japan is going to use HQ benefits. That's going to add another one, so it's going to be 2-to-1 plus 2. 2-to-1 plus 2. Now, China's got to think here. 2-to-1 plus 2 is going to be at least a 3. Not too much is going to happen to the Japanese. Well, a 3, that's a 1 loss. Get down to 8, and then it's bad. After 8, it's bad for the Japanese. So 6, so 40% chance of having a really bad result. Shattered or a breakthrough, even a retreat. Take the Blitzkrieg table. We got a 40% chance of losing the hex. The assault table, a 30% chance, a 50% and a 30%. Do we want to hold the hex? We probably want to hold the hex. It's a mountain hex. It's pretty good terrain. We'll go with the assault. 2-to-1 plus 2. Oh, can't make that up. 9. 2-to-1 plus 2 is an 11. That's an 11 on the assault table is, well, it's not total disaster. It's the cross, which means half the Japanese units will be flipped over. 2 units killed, the remainder shattered. So both units are killed. Half the Japanese units are going to be flipped over. Half the Japanese units are going to be flipped over. Alright, let's see. And we get to occupy the house. Well, half actually counts the HQ as well, who's flipped over. So let's go in with this guy. And the HQ. I'm not going to get an attack on that, obviously. I'm going to leave the artillery behind for now. And the other 2-to-1 attack is down here. This could be bad. Okay, Japan, it's 2-to-1 straight up. There was no, just so you know that there's no Mao around here because he was killed in a previous turn. He hasn't come back on the board yet. So they don't have Mao yet. So 2-to-1, we're going to go with the assault. Hopefully that's a little bit better for China. Let's see, 2-to-1 straight up. And not bad for China. It's not total disaster. It's a 4. Let's see what a 4 is. Let's see, 4. Let's see. That's 2-to-1, 4. Well, it's actually good for China. 2-1 on a 4 is 1 Japanese unit killed, no Chinese units killed. All the Japanese units are going to be flipped over. I forgot to use my HQ benefits, but hey, that's the way it goes sometimes. Too bad. So that's going to be dead. He's going to be flipped over. And these two are going to be flipped over. So that's kind of going to end things down here for the most part, I would say. All right. Okay. They will get a cadre for that unit because it's right next to an HQ. And I do believe that is it. Put my planes back where they're supposed to be. That is it for the fascists. I don't see Italy doing anything yet. Yeah. That's it for the fascists. I'll be right back with the Democrats after they move. Okay, so the Democrats have moved. The Chinese moved a few units. Basically, they need to wait for the communists, try to seal up that hole somehow, if at all. The good thing is that the Japanese are mostly flipped over, so should be able to do it. So over here in Europe, poor old France, well, it's time for the end of France, last turn, suicide attack on Paris. So we have a 1-2 attack right here. I got everything I could moved as close as I could to this hex, and I'm going to use HQ Bennett. Yes, he will reach HQ. He's not participating in attack, so he can't do that. Okay, so it's basically a 1-2. I could use HQ benefits from Runstadt because he is within his motorized movement rate of the hex to lend defensive support. However, I'm looking at 1-2 on the assault table. I might lose a unit, maybe lose a single unit. I'm not going to lose the hex. It would be a -1. Nah, I want to move Runstadt, so we're just going to go 1-2 attack. Well, the French rolled a 3. That's the end of that. 2 dead French units, no dead German units. All the French units are going to flip over. So that's basically going to be the end of that, because I'm pretty sure that Germany is going to declare WiFCE after this. 2 dead French units. We'll take them too. Everything else flips over. We can take that one. Keep that one. There's the 2 dead French units. Alright. So that's the end of the Democrat impulse. Now we'll go to the Communist impulse. I will do the movement and I will come right back. Okay, so during the Communist turn, the Communists shuffled a couple units in through here. Try to fill the hole in. They mulled abandoning this hex, but decided it's a mountain hex. So that's going to make it worth 8 points. It's probably worth holding. Communists finished their impulse. We went to the fascist impulse, and they rolled a 7 for weather, which in September, October is rain, Arctic, rain, north temperate, fair, Mediterranean, rain, north monsoon, fair, south monsoon, and fair temperate, and the impulse marker moves up 2. So that's basically going to shut down everything. I'm going to run through the turn. If the weather improves and something can happen, I'll come back. If not, we'll pick up at production. Okay, so the turn went a total of 25 impulses. It ended on the Communist impulse. The weather just went really bad and then got kind of like it happened on the second set of impulses. A little bit of rain here and there, but it was enough to shut down the maps. I mean, Rain basically shuts down the maps. The Germans just moved a whole bunch of units to the east, much as they could. Nothing really happened in China with Japan and the Chinese. I think a couple units might have moved around. That was about it. The French didn't do anything because they really couldn't do anything. I mean, they made their one attack and that was it. So let's go and take a look at what we got for production. Okay, so production did change a little bit. Basically, the German production went up. So the Germans produced 18. They started with 0 and they spent 4. 1 for a sub and 3 for a bomber. The Japanese produced 12. Started with 9. Started with 10. They had a cadre and spent 12. So they built a warlord, a pilot, a convoy point, tanker point, that's coming out of the construction pool. That guy right there. An amphib. And this also is out of the repair pool. A battleship. Okay, the Italians pulled this out of the construction pool. They produced 8, started with 0, and spent 4. That came out of the construction pool as well. The Soviets produced 8, started with 6, built an infantry army, a single-seat fighter, and a pilot. The Commonwealth went on a spending spree. They produced 10, started with 3, and spent 16. Carrier out of the construction pool, a convoy point, a light cruiser out of the force pool, a militia, 2 combat air groups, and a headquarters. France produced 2, started with -2, got a couple cadres, which would be 0, and spent nothing. No sense. The U.S., okay, produced 10, started with 10, spent 12. They got transport out of the construction pool, a light cruiser out of the force pool, light cruiser out of the repair pool, 2 convoy points, laid down a battleship, and built a naval air. China produced 4, got 1 cadre for 5, started with 4, so they built a cav corps and an infantry army, both of them communists. So I will get these on the circle, and I will probably get this turn uploaded within the next day or so. And thanks for watching, and see you soon.